What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 8 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Lokhir Fellheart Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Barbstorm had himself a nice little sort of a difficult fight as he had to do a tactical retreat. And granted, he was able to destroy the enemy armies afterward, however, so he did immediately redeem himself, or possibly simply lured the enemies into a false sense of security, or however you want to call it. And now, after a turn of healing, he should be back at it to either acquire Aquitaine or Martas, and depending on who we use to do what. Very nice. Otherwise, I wanted to see, are we able to upgrade spears to anything interesting? We can make them into executioners over time. It's a little bit odd, because this is the Dread Spear unit that's been with us since the very start, and I'm kind of inclined to keep it. I was hoping we could make it into a Blackguard of Karond, just because, but at the end of the day, maybe an executioner unit will do fine, or we'll keep them as spears to lead other spears. We'll see. Anyway, getting sidetracked. We have, let's see, one turn, maybe a couple of turns more here for Lokhir, but he is intending to go into the Empire. We've also decided that we're going to grab this coastline, partly because there are former elven colonies along it, and partly because if we don't take the coastline, enemies will constantly use it to sail on down here. And while I don't mind setting up a Black Ark or two to patrol the waters, it's every single turn we'd have to essentially move them there just to patrol. And then otherwise we would have these territories be vulnerable to attack. So, easier to take it. Besides, we do need additional capacity for A, Black Arks, and B, lots of heroes and stuff, and especially sorceresses, who we are out of capacity of, and we do need more tech thieves and all. But anyway, I digress. Also, we will need appropriately drooky names for the various tech thieves other than Nagarond Inc. R&D. I don't remember where she is, but she's somewhere, I'm sure. That's not the one that died, is it? I remember one died immediately, but it might be elsewhere. I'm just curious now. Okay, no, it's fine. It's right there. Oh, it's in this gigantic pile of heroes from Britonia. Huh. Well, good for them. They should probably be putting all those paladins into actual armies. But anyway, let's get started. Now, Lokhir doesn't need to move. Cammering is fine as he is. I think there was at least one other admiral that wanted to move somewhere. Kinmoville, you can still move, can't you? I think he was building something, but he can move past the territory of the drowned here. Grab an island and 2 islands. Very nice. All right, go back into Dread Expansion and yes, build up your monster holds. After you, sir. In Balthanal, you are in range of Martas still, and I guess we could sack it. I wonder what the defenses are like. Will this need a fight? Oh, I just realized something. There's a tech thief here who I assume... Wait, can you actually reach this in one turn? You can reach Barflow, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, fair enough. Let's see what this was again. Enemy-wise. It's just a giant pile of peasants, no knights, and thus no threat. We'll just auto-resolve it. I'm sure the shades would have cleaned house either way. Alright, looks good to me. Sacking it seems to provide no benefit to us. We'll just occupy it, I guess. Alright, Martas is now ours, and we'll immediately upgrade it, and maybe even rush it. It's a little bit costly, but at the same time, we do want those walls up and running as fast as we possibly can, because this is going to be a nice walled coastline, fortified coastline, to protect the main territories which are generally unwalled. It's sort of like the same functions that the watchtowers north of Nagaroth, or north of Nagaron, but in the northern part of Nagaroth sort of function, wherein the Dark Elves are constantly at war with Norska and Chaos, especially the let's say super chaosified Norskins up there, but anyway, I digress. Both in all, you could get this going for 3.6k, which isn't too bad. Might as well max it out. And then you're tier 5s, so in theory you will no longer need the Estates of the Masters. Sure, they just gotta remember that. Wand of Jed's Hours, and you're good. Now, You're definitely not the only one that had to move. Ah, Caliph, yes, you have a fight, in fact. And I think you're the only one that's yeah, you're the only one that still has something to do. And I wager it's going to be a fun fight. So, let's pop on in, shall we? Valiant defeat, casualties high. That's what I like to see. And we'll get the debut of the Helldrake pack. Ooh, hopefully it doesn't have a defensive structure. No, it doesn't. Alright, we're good. And it's funny, these guys, we immediately came here, declared war on them despite the fact that they liked us. They had a 45 rulers tolerance, so we randomly came over here, and they're willing to immediately peace out just to get us to go away. But I think the better option would be to sack their territory, kill their armies, take on captives and such, and then take their settlement, and then either sell it back to them or to the Agents of the Moon, and then go away. And even then, we can come back, always. That's the fun of these Black Arcs. They just show up, and they're a menace to everyone. Go.
Show no mercy.
Alrighty, here we go. Debut battle for our adorable little Helldrake units here. We'll see how well they do. Again, they would obviously be much stronger in an army led by a Beastmaster, because he could provide at minimum the +8/+8 melee attack and melee defense, plus I guess a few other things to them. But, well, they're sea creatures, and it would be cruel to keep them away from the sea. And let's see, they're the same thing as the sea dragons in terms of their model, but they're smaller. They're like monstrous. It just calls them monsters here, but they're kind of like monstrous infantry, I guess. Sort of maybe like rat ogres. High melee attack, relatively low melee defense, good armor piercing damage, all that sort of thing. I am excited to use them. I do find the description it's a mod unit, right? The description rather amusing, because it's like it says smaller than sea dragons. Helldrakes are far more ferocious, combining the ferocity of a wolverine with razor sharp fangs, etc., etc. And I'm just like, why are you comparing this thing to a wolverine? It's like I don't know, it's like 3 times the height of a guy, and well, that's ignoring the fact that it's all coiled up. It's like a small house, and bigger than a car, certainly. Wolverines are just tiny things by comparison. I don't even know if Wolverines exist in the Warhammer world. But anyway, I digress. I'm gonna speed it up. It's gonna take a little bit of time to wear down the enemy walls. This is why we keep the Reaper bolt throwers in most of our armies, because we need them to be able to knock holes in the enemy walls for the Corsairs to move on in. Unfortunately, Black Arc's support abilities don't allow you to actually break down walls, and I do feel like that's a little bit odd, maybe. Black Arcs are extremely powerful things, fortresses, floating fortresses, and with all the artillery and stuff that they have, I feel like they should maybe be able to knock a hole in a wall. Maybe Black Arcs should be given, after some upgrades, that ability. You know, there's a Wall Breaker, Chaos has it, and the Ogres have it, where they can use a ability to break down a wall. Huh. Do High Elves also have it? I remember a Vols thing that might, well, whatever. And my point is, the ability to at least breach a wall without necessarily relying on having artillery in every army would be nice to represent the potentially big ol' artillery, magical or mundane, available to the Black Arcs themselves. But anyway, again, I digress. The walls have been breached in 4 places. We have not enough ammunition remaining to damage any units significantly, but we'll get the last few bits of ammunition to slightly, let's say, quarter HP damage on the enemy Black Orc Big Boss, and then a few last split shots into this unit of Goblin Archers until we completely run out of ammo. And we can at least watch the split shot. And yes, we are definitely going to make an army that's centered around the Reaper bolt throwers as well. I haven't decided which one yet, but definitely something I want to do. I had a lot of fun maxing out the Eagle Claw bolt throwers in Imric's campaign. He had them hitting really hard. I think they were up to 900 missile strength at the end there, or something along those lines. So a little bit over 2.5 times as much, something along those lines. It was pretty solid. And these guys already here have some buffs to some degree as well. So yeah, we'll see what the Reaper Bolt Throwers can do. Anyway, all that aside, it's time to move forward. Long enough bombardment. We're going to obviously take a few arrows to the face as we approach, but the Goblin Archers shouldn't be too much of a threat, as we have enough physical and missile resistance and armor to, if not quite ignore the damage, not take so much damage that the Curse of Cannibalism will not simply out-regenerate it. So we're good. Also, like with our handbow units, that they run forward and fire. And here we go. Time to make their way through the breaches in the walls, and it looks like the enemy will rush to meet us, at least in a couple of places, with boar boys charging those handbows. If you're wondering why I sent the handbows first rather than the twin blades are still fairly damaged based on previous auto-resolves and whatnot, haven't completely healed to full. Otherwise, we do have an enemy artillery piece that's going to be annoying us this entire time, so we're going to try to drop that artillery support on it in the hopes of at least knocking out a few units. We've seen before that the Black Arc support abilities are not good at killing individual artillery units. They're great at obliterating the crew, but the artillery pieces themselves can largely ignore it, which probably is going to be the same thing here, but hopefully we can just wipe out the crew with repeated uses. That, however, means we're going to have to rely on good old sword and handbow, or cutlass and handbow, to take out the enemy. But not just those things, as these sea dragons make their way into the enemy settlement as well. And isn't it appropriate? Almost like the enemies saw us coming here. Maybe the Nehekaran gods lend their aid to us. At least to some degree. The covenant between them and humanity may be broken, but nobody said anything about the covenant between them and random sea serpents. So yeah. My point is, maybe they'd want to punish the greenskins for squatting in a Tomb King settlement. And it's not like we're intent on keeping it, we're just here mostly to wipe them out and sell the settlement off to the highest bidder, though again, I suppose that could mean the greenskins themselves. Anyway, little, or not so little, sea dragons, or Helldrakes rather, doing their thing. They have used their mass to push through the piles of the melee troops, and like any monstrous infantry, it's always a solid combination. Interspersing your monstrous infantry amongst your regular infantry makes both considerably stronger, greater than the sum of their parts, essentially is what I'm getting at. Now that said, we do still have to be wary here. The orcs aren't a major threat, with the exception of the Black Orc unit, which has not arrived yet. What is a major threat, however, is the enemy Spinning Loons, that's the name. The Spinning Loons off those Night Goblin fanatics, as they can absolutely tear through your infantry units if you're not careful. Also, I decided to put the Lord up here. He's mostly just watching. I don't know why he's facing off this way. He's docked on the wall, and he's facing off the wrong way, but I don't really care. I just found it amusing for him to stand up here and take the occasional pot shot at the enemy, all the while not quite leading from the front. Admittedly, Druki are like Skaven and oftentimes do not lead from the front as well. Depends on the Druki, of course. Some are a little bit too slaughter happy to quite hold back, but generally speaking, Druki Highborn will let the others get their hands dirty until the real danger has passed. Which is quite interesting, because as a culture, Dark Elves don't fear dying, generally speaking, so it's kind of interesting that they wouldn't lead from the front, but maybe, and probably, the Highborn just think themselves above in getting into the fray like this. Maybe show up for a nice duel with the enemy general or something along those lines, but anyway. We have very much breached the enemy settlement now, taking a little bit of damage on at least some of the Helldrake packs. We're going to withdraw them a little bit and allowing them to regenerate so that they don't lose too many models. The Night Goblin War Boss has at last arrived with his pump wagons, and though he's hard to spot, you can see him by the plume. The the Black Arc Reaver is in the midst of the Corsairs, hiding in not so plain sight, or maybe not so much hiding because of that red plume, but anyway, using his own weapons to defeat the enemy Night Goblin and send him packing. Otherwise, the enemy is probably screwed now, as we've defeated most of the enemy infantry, and soon only range will remain. There is still, however, the Black Orc Big Boss, well, not Black Orc Big Boss, they're just general Black Orc unit running around out here, and there's the Black Orc Big Boss as well. I think that's the second one, as the first one was probably also defeated defeated. Anyway, the Helldrakes are probably not going to be able to fight Black Orcs very well, so we're actually going to back them off. They did chase down and heavily damage some enemy range units, but rather than getting bogged down fighting those great axes, we'll instead back them off towards this little unit of Goblin Wolf Rider archers who are trapped. Little they can do, as the living serpents do so much damage to them that they will be out of the picture in probably a couple of seconds. Just as much damage as necro serpents from the Tomb Kings would have done, I'd wager. Alright, and there we go. There's our enemy surrounded, can't escape. The Black Orcs have arrived. Our Black Arc support continues, dropping down upon the enemy. We've used all of our Black Arc support effectively on this one artillery piece over the course of the battle, and there we go. Finally, it goes down. I think that was 4 or 5 spells over the course of the battle, which is why, again, it can be a little bit difficult to deal with artillery with only Black Arc support abilities. And yeah, we could get a flying unit or something in here, but I think we're okay. Oh, I suppose we could put a Master in here if we really wanted to, and put the Master on a Dark Pegasus for that particular purpose. Or just deal with the artillery. We'll see. Anyway, Boar Boys have arrived to help the Black Orcs, but it looks like the Black Orcs aren't going to be in the combat for too much longer. Gotta remember that the Twin Blades, especially, of the Black Arc Corsairs have plenty of armor-piercing damage available to them, and are thus more than capable of dishing out the damage to the Black Orcs, especially with their super high melee attack. Otherwise, another unit of spinning loons released, but unfortunately they're not going to be a threat to the Helldrakes in the same way that they are to our piles of infantry, and those poor little gobs, wah or not, will get torn to shreds by those Helldrakes. Beautiful. Alright, and it looks like there is very little in the way of melee left to protect those units. The last of the units of Boar Boys that is up ahead is still failing. Our lord still watching the action from up on high. And docked on this wall, he can actually shoot the enemy with a single unit of the Black Arc Corsairs with handbows. Perfect. And there we go, just watching over the conquest of the settlement, though alas, not for much longer, as the enemy army will shatter, and the battle will be ours, though I suppose for the Dark Elves that's probably enjoyable as well, as they can run down all the fleeing foes, and etc, etc. Anyway, Helldrake packs will probably chase down a little bit of enemies, but, well, in a settlement, we probably don't get bonuses for chasing anything down, so we can just end it there. Heroic victory, and a very nice debut for the Helldrake packs. Alright, there we go. An absolutely beautiful battle for Admiral Caliph Beastbinder, who earns his name at last as his Black Ark shows up off the coast of whatever this place is, and the sort of beast pens open, and a bunch of Helldrake packs are released upon the poor greenskins, and it's a beautiful sight. And these little guys are definitely going to need names. Look at that, 403 kills, 42,000 damage. Very appropriate. And thanks to the Curse of Cannibalism, admittedly, because we had that, they will have the opportunity to level up while healing mid-battle, and thus will hopefully have very nice stats at the end of the day. Otherwise, we got lots of work out of our Black Arc Corsairs, with the handbow variant going into melee first, and this time around, since the melee variant started off damaged, and so 22,000 damage, 17,000 damage. I think we haven't named any in this army, but admittedly we have so many Black Arc Corsairs that, well, they're not all going to get named, I would think, but we'll see. Heroic victory, yes, and we will sack the place for another 6k and a little bit of heals. Then what I'd like to do is to immediately occupy it. Alright, and then... oh, I was hoping to... well, we'll see. How much is this worth to you? Gate of the Stars is worth 8,000 gold to you, but that's not all you can do. What about back to the greenskins? How much is it worth to you?
Speak up, or I'll take you.
Gate of the Stars. It is worth only 6,000. You disappoint me. I guess you guys can war over this. So, Caliph, you will leave this place. You will go into Dread Expansion, and then you. Agents of the Moon, you will be given Gate of the Stars for all your money. And would you be willing to declare war on the Cult of Sigmar? No. Would you be willing to break your pacts with them? Yes, you would. And what about your trade agreements with them? Yes, you would. What about your military alliances? Yes, you would. I mean, we can still cause a lot of havoc over here, so I think that's what we'll do. I would also like you to declare war against the Red Shield, so that you're forced into fighting them as well. Like so. Anybody else interesting? Clan Claw, Challenger... Oh, wait, no, not us declare war. I did the wrong thing. Wait. Your offers declare war... They're already at war with the Red Shield. Okay, that was my... that was the source of my confusion. Well, alright, fine. I guess that's enough to break all of your treaties and all that and give us 8k? Thank you. Enjoy. I love it. Black Arcs are so fun. And we got plenty of cash out of that, and our army is fully healed up after all that as well. You can, I guess, split your attention between Sheaf Master and Lash Master. And the increased buffs to the Sea Dragons, admittedly, or the worms, wait. Oh yeah, worms are here. Okay, yeah, good. I was wondering whether the Helldrake packs were missing, but they're not. These buffs seem not that crazy, but the weapon strength, I mean, they do hit fairly hard, so a little bit of both. Anyway, we can keep on doing that. The other option would be to get to Quartermaster, which we will as soon as we can. Gotta get more Black Arcs up and running after all, but we'll get there eventually. Now you, I guess this Black Arc Reaver is going to take the Great Sword because we have the Lord, which is a crossbow wielder, to lead the Black Arc Corsairs with handbows, and then the Black Arc Reaver will wade into melee combat. I could say the points for tough as nails, but there isn't anything super critical here other than esteemed combatants, so maybe we'll grab Eternal Hatred and then start moving through towards heroic killing below. Oh right, I also wanted strength through spite. You know what, let's go for elusive instead then. And we're not in rank 15 yet, but we gotta get those Seek New Corsairs buffs. It'll help immensely. Our mana is... Alright, the Black Arcs have a really difficult time generating mana, so actually Potent would be a pretty darn solid pick, assuming that it actually works. I'm not entirely sure. This is just capacity, so it's not super necessary. I'm going to say take Ward of Hecate, Evasion, and then Curse of Anrahir, which is a very strong debuff to everybody around. Oh! You need to be able to overcast it. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Fair enough. We'll take Word of Hecate or Dark Blessing or whatever it was afterwards. Alright. Now, we do have a little bit of cash after that, and there were a couple things I wanted to do, though damn me if I remember what they all were. Somebody here wanted to build something. You. Yes, build torture posts. You're already building yours? Good. Okay, so these, just wanted to make sure that these two arcs are echoing each other. I guess we'll wait until... Yeah, and we could build the Sorcerer's Building, but since it doesn't provide us capacity, it doesn't really matter as much. I do like the research rate, but we won't acquire that until Tier 5, so it's probably better to just acquire said Tier 5 Black Arc, Enormous Black Arc, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, Bay of Quietude, you have the Tower of Dark Sorcery, which admittedly is nice, but maybe we'll wait until our next materials. Let's see. Ooh, Scab Reach. 7.2k to upgrade you, though. It's a little bit on the expensive side. Castle Grand Set, however, since we're keeping, I think we can upgrade and then immediately go for the Watchtowers, and in fact immediately rush the Watchtowers, so that the place can defend itself at least to some degree. It's not much, but the two Executioners should be pretty darn effective, and we grow fairly quickly here. I'm almost tempted to increase the growth rate by popping off Slave Drive here, because we need to fortify these provinces very rapidly. Especially since we're not looking to hold the rest of Bretonnia here, because there's no coastline here, so we'll essentially have a fortified coastline that will need to be able to protect itself from these guys. And of course, we'll have a couple of armies here just constantly raising, sacking, pillaging, just like they do in the lore of the Bretonians, but, you know, anyway, I digress. We'll leave it alone for now. You know what, maybe actually we'll rush this. It's fairly cheap for us, and we'll start building up the slave gate here. A little mini Karond Kar. Anyway, you know what? Rush it in Brienne as well, maybe? Yeah, we have the spare. And leave this for now. Although it'll there's a decent likelihood it'll change. The livestock pens are actually going to be fairly helpful here because they are going to provide additional growth and allow the place to, well, grow faster. Anyway, that's it for this turn, so we can skip. Do we want to maybe do a little round of naming? You know what, I think last episode, and, well, we've put, like, I don't know, 30 Blackheart Corsair names, and, well, there's plenty more to be had. We'll name something that isn't Blackheart Corsairs. How about... let's name the Witch Elves, shall we? We have the Bloody Marys. Bloody Marys will be joined by Damsels of Doom. All like so. Heart Takers. Heart Takers. And how about Crow's Nest Crones? There we go. As for the Regiment of Renown, you will become the Sea Hags, tiny little perk for channel members to rename Regiments of Renown. And there we go. With that, all of our Witch Elves in this army are named. We will probably keep a decent amount of these guys. We could probably name 2 more. These 2 I'm probably going to replace with a couple of Charybdises, mostly because this army effectively has no anti-large other than Kenwoveil's contingent's range attacks, but the Creeping Dreads don't have the anti-large bonuses to them, and I feel like a couple of Charybdises, or even 1 Charybdis would work. We could pop on in a single Charybdis and get a second Death Hag as well, because we have the various Witch Elves to buff up, so there is that. So assuming that we remove 2, we can get a couple more in here. So you can be... I can't spell it all today. Come on, Ruinous. Kenwoveil... Why do you have such a difficult name, guy? Kenwoveil's Raiders. There we go. And how about Jerez Fangbreakers? Alright, and good for you. And then you 2, presuming, will be removed. I hate removing high ranks, but we can recruit them at such high ranks. I guess it doesn't matter over much. Anyway, let's end the turn. Alright, no new attacks and perhaps no besiegements. Ally mobilized against settlement. Ghost of Pawash destroyed. Oh my, well done to High Queen Khalida. Definitely putting her to the, I don't know, top of my list for the Tomb King campaign. Of course, it'll still be a vote, and ooh, we're probably gonna have that vote shortly. But anyway, somebody please remind me. Ghost of Pawash, sacrifice to Mathline, Great Incantation of Xar. Okay, we can ignore all this garbage. Recruit a Lord soon. Ooh, recruitment cost minus 15% for all units. Maybe sooner than I thought. And that should be pretty useful to us. Anyway, Kenwoveil, go briefly grab the Sea Corpse, would ya? And then you've got other Bretonians to raid. Alright, approach this carcass. We'll auto-resolve this for obvious reasons, and we will... I guess we'll heal up, because it takes a while for these guys to heal, unfortunately. Tis what it is. Alrighty, diplomatic relations with all factions, very nice. Got ourselves another envoy. Forest Cloak is great, but not for this army. Now this will be nice in any of our shade-heavy armies. You will then go into march stance, full speed stance, and get as close to this mysterious sign as possible. Actually, I lied. Go here at the edge of the Middle Sea, where you will heal as much as possible. Alright. And you'll grab that island next turn. Still on the fence as to whether we should ally with these guys, but at the end of the day, it might be good to use them for vision, and we can always betray them later. Though them developing this red territory ain't such a bad thing either, but anyway, and go for a defensive alliance. None of the alliances we make as Dark Elves really matter in the sense that we aren't necessarily going to honor them, as it were. Alright, Barfleur, we got that for success, very nice. Steel Tech, and ooh, do we have any more Sorcerer's capacity? Wait, is it you? No, it's the other army. You. No new Sorcerer's capacity. Madness Bringer and Infamous Poisoner. Let's take a look at heroes for a few seconds. Anything interesting? Deadly Corsair, Master Infiltrator. No, not this turn. Alright, so let them mill. Let's also move the Tech Thieves first, because, you know... You can go to Bahus, I guess. What was I saying? Move the Tech Thieves first. Yes, 'tis an important thing to do. Alright, success, Dark Steed for Tech Thief. Then, you other Tech Thief who... can I just please click you? Thank you. The Steel Tech, please. And I'm gonna send you on down to Dragon Falls. Looks like the... Ooh, hello, little armies running around. The Wood Elves don't like us very much because of minus 183 for the actions against Carcassonne. I mean, I can see some negatives, but I don't think Wood Elves care that much, or that the actual Wood Elf faction would care that much about what we're doing to Britannia. I just disagree, but anyway. Can you land at Moret and Steel Tech there? Let's find out. Whoa, why didn't you... What the heck? You have a port right here. Ugh, game, please. Oh, you don't technically have to land. I forgot about that. Well, that's good, though. Steel Tech at least. Ooh, double Steel Tech. I should have leveled you before doing that, shouldn't I have? Come on, Ruinous. Rookie mistake, man. Alright, anyway, let's see. Was that all of the R&D and tech thieves? Oh, it's got block army. That'll be helpful. There's nothing else that provides us additional success rate, right? Just to double check. Some factions have some stuff like that, but I don't think this is one of them, so we're okay. Alright. Alright, now, Mr. Grey Vanquisher, I do believe you're pretty much ready to go. There's only two things that you need to do. The first is I've decided that in this particular army, since it's Shade and Dark Rider heavy with assassins, it's not going to have artillery. Admittedly, this will mean... No, nonetheless, we should have still the assassins capable of doing stuff. I hope. We'll give it a try like this. And then there's two other things that we needed to do. First of all, we're going to pop in the Raven Heralds here. We have two assassins, and they will buff them. Plus, I don't know, it works with the whole concept of this, in my opinion. And then we have one space left, which is going to be for the Sorceress, but that'll have to happen later, as you, Grey Vanquisher, are done and ready to go. Let's have him pick up a little bit of XP. Oh, actually, Moksha could probably do that as well. I was going to say at Bordelot and at Silent Isle. But Moksha's already here, admittedly. Alright, Moksha, you can have this then, and... yeah, there's a fair bit of coastline here, but nonetheless. I guess then, Mr. Grey Vanquisher, since you're good to go, minus the need to get rid of now the arena, and build probably a Sorceress building so that you can build your own Sorceress. Alright, so... I mean, do you have to do that now? 1 second. I need to check whether he actually has the... oh, we could also sail and grab the enormous Black Ark first. It's not like he needs the Sorceress while sailing, right? And he's got a fairly long way to go. Oh, wow, you're going to be traveling for a while, sir. But nonetheless, I'm almost tempted to get a Black Ark summoned here instead. But you know what, we'll wait until, well, next turn. Maybe that's the better way to do it. It'll be faster than sailing around like that. There's admittedly some islands to pick up here. Yeah, we can build it in our military province. We have access to most building types here. You know what, I think that's what we'll do. So that means, Mr. Grey Vanquisher, you're going north instead. But that also means you're not going to go into March stance. I would like you to go this way then. And then we will delete your... we'll delete your arena, because you no longer have a need for it, and then we will replace it with the Sorceress building, and you can thus go into Dread Expansion. Alrighty, what about your points? So let's get your Route Marcher. You're going to have to be traveling a fair bit. Alright, another army ready to go. Next up, Admiral Vukathathan. Ooh, you've reached rank 10. Oh, I'm glad I clicked on you. Let's see. Big money. What do we got? Another Tempest of Talons and another Shadow Dart, eh? Not a big fan of the fact that it's one we already have. I have been wanting a Black Ark that sort of just acts mostly as support for our land-based armies right now. I mean, I already have 2 armies with Shades, and this is a ridiculously strong one. We could do one that's a little bit more Cold One heavy, but admittedly I wanted to do that with a land-based army that I can justify having more of those guys and not necessarily having giant piles of Black Ark Corsairs. And, you know, so I think what we'll do is this. We'll pop in, pick off their leader, and we'll use this, this Black Ark as the support Black Ark. So, you'll go here. this will allow you to essentially build the arena and allow other nearby Black Arcs to recruit off of you, rather than having to delete it everywhere. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have gone to March Stance. Oh, too late for that. Come on, Ruinous. Anyway, Ship's Navigator, unassailable, unknowable, unstoppable, and unshakable. Lovely. And Route Marcher. And then out of this, well, technically you'll still need Linebreaker eventually, but for now I think you'll be, well, actually just get Linebreaker in the Shade building. Alrighty, good for you. And then these will be traded to the others then. Alright, Gloring Way, you're supposed to join, I guess, Serere in her army. So the thing that we want to do is this. Serere, you're going to go this way. We'll have Mr. Lokhir kill off this little rebel faction, sack Carcassonne again, so that it can grab it, because we're not looking to hold it ourselves. Like so. Auto-resolve. Better not damage us. A little bit, but we'll use it to heal to basically full. Alrighty, then we will sack Carcassonne with another auto-resolve. And then we will sack it like so. And stop. Okay. And then we will have you. You can't go down here. Well, what we can then. Oh, wow, you're out of movement range here? That's disappointing. Alright, I guess we're just going to have to stay here. Lokhir, you're going to go into. Are you full mana? Yes. Raiding, I guess. That's basically nothing. You know what, try ambush. I'm pretty sure it won't work, but I was hoping Serere could move more. I should have popped her into ambush stance, but whatever. Whatever. And we'll just let the, hopefully the Skaven grab this, and maybe if the ambush works, Luan Dufar will attempt to go to here. We'll see. Alright, now, Ferignac, we should upgrade you, although you're probably safer than some of these other territories, aren't you? Saint Jacques is down here. Well, actually, no, you're not. I lied. Nonetheless, we should upgrade Brigandel first to get that, to get this up and running. Alright, looks good to me. Okay, we'll deal with the building after, though. We've got a lot of other stuff to do. Alright, so Conwo Vale, that was that this turn? That was this turn. Why must it be so difficult? Balthanol. The first Shadow Dart, the real Shadow Dart. Okay, so assuming that we can leave these Black Arcs to deal with this and then move up the coastline, you... You know what might be a good idea? Okay, but actually, first of all, how are you guys doing? Minus 20. That's actually not so bad. Let's get the balance offer. And you know what we'll do? We'll join your war against Jade Court and Nagaroth and take all your money. Do we want to maybe do the defensive alliance? It'll make us friendlier. Yeah, fine. Do the defensive alliance and take as much of their money as possible. It'll give us a vision, but more importantly, hopefully we can... I was hoping that Confed would pop up, but oh well. Maybe if they lose their last army. They're the closest ones by far. I was thinking about sending one of the Black Arcs up here. I guess the only problem with that is they're the only ones that are likely to be threatening this faction, so... If we send them up there and kill off all of their foes, then, well, that'll be an issue for us. Nonetheless, we can always scout the coast and then see. You're safe to leave this place, right? We can't take Barfleur. I mean, I suppose we could build a land-based army here. We do need to recruit a lord. What can you recruit? You can recruit basic stuff, so we could make just sort of a basic guard army for now. You know what, maybe we'll do that. Alright, so recruit lord. I think there was a defensive one. Shadow Lady, physical resistance plus 25% when defending for the entire army. So you... we can keep around to essentially stay on this coast. There we go, and out of that we got raised banners. You can also then... wait. You go and leave this territory, I guess. Alright, you're gonna pop in here, and we will get your Inspiring Presence immediately. I don't like how low your loyalty is, but it is what it is. And that means you can stay in Dread Expansion for a couple of turns while we build you some stuff. Just gonna be some basic stuff, whatever. Grab a couple of Dread Spears from here. And, okay, no Black Arc Corsairs, at least not for this land-based army. I want stuff that's one turnable. Ooh, yes. Now let's get you some artillery. That'll be good on the defense. We can't build Dark Riders here right now, but we can do some Dark Shards. I mean, again, this is just going to be a simple defensive army. It doesn't need to be fancy. Might still build a few Blackheart Corsairs because we get them so much cheaper, and frankly, they're probably going to be way better than Dreadspears due to the faction-wide buffs that we have. Alright, fine. I mean, I'm just thinking from the perspective of us never really using this army, so... Oh, wait, the Dreadspears were coming in from this. You know what, get some Dark Riders. I'm just thinking of this from the perspective of us not actually using this army, as it's, again, be a defensive force, but also to allow it to occupy territories like Barfleur, which are not directly on the coast, because Cammering has probably a while until he gets up there. But anyway, I digress. Speaking of Cammering, actually, I don't digress. I segue. Completely different, guys. Go into Druki first strike and besiege Castle Aquitaine for a second time, please. And I imagine they'll sally out again. Alright, except this time they won't have 2.5 or 3.5 armies, they'll just have the one. Alrighty, do you need to level? We'll level the Sorceress of Fire. We could max out Flamestorm or Burning Head. I guess for the lines of... Piercing Bolts of Burning would be nice too. Let's go for Piercing Bolts of Burning. I was thinking that for the lines of Peasant Archers, the Burning Head is a really strong counter, which remains the case, but doesn't necessarily mean that we need to deal with that right now. Anyway, Gloring Wee or Gloring Way, whatever, you're going to go to join Sirere. And let's keep looking for armies. Alright, so Kunovel has moved. Balthanol is waiting to allow for recruitment. Caliph, you are free to move. Wait, did we peace out with these guys? Oh, we did not, I forgot. Give us all your money. 9k. Oh, you should have offered us 9k for that settlement. I might have given it back to you. This was a very lucrative venture for Mr. Kalath. Well done. I guess it was worth it going up here to the Sour Sea after all. Oh, I didn't realize that this was a port. Should have sacked it while we were here. Oh well, not a big deal. There's no island here, right? There was on the way here, but there isn't one anymore. So, assuming that you don't need to construct anything, you can get a move on. And this time, we're going up this way. I mean, I guess we can stop on by at SF's Key again, pick up this fell cargo as well, stack the place. Maybe even trade it to these guys. Maybe after these betrayals, now that they don't like each other, maybe we can get them to declare war this time. But anyway, sack or pick this place up, but then go north to Dragon's Landing. And let's have a little fun with Imric's coastline, shall we? Anyway, Admiral... Okay, no. Again, why doesn't it show the fact that they have movement? It's kind of extremely annoying. Okay, so you can't move this turn, right? I moved you? Yes, I did, okay. And, ow, you were supposed to build something. I assume the Sorceress is building. Yeah, go for it. You have the Cold One building, which was the critical one, and then you're gonna get the Sorceress building after. Alright, Admiral Rinmo. Okay, so did you two? Okay, so you get to gamble today. Revered Name of Power. Let's see. Hopefully big money for you as well. Another Barb Storm or a Wrathbringer? Pretty generic, but it's kind of garbage, so I'm not interested, to be perfectly honest. Barb Storm, however, is a very sort of generic one. Basically, any range units benefit from this. For example, Scourge Runner Chariots, so I don't mind the idea. Shoot them all. And we'll have you get some Scourge Runner Chariots. That will mean building this building with the Harpies and the monsters. Yeah, we could do some monsters with some Scourge Runners and then ranged Blackheart Corsairs to support... Oh, I should have moved you forward. You can't take Muret because it's too well defended, unfortunately, so you will close, but you will not go into it. And then you, Admiral Exarian, will stay nearby. We just gotta be wary of an army sort of showing up, like this little army, for example. And you, hopefully, will get your gambling off next turn. Alright, we'll trade. We have spare Blackheart Corsairs with handbows here. Good. Alright, one more turn and we can get new Blackhearts as well, which is going to be real nice. Alright, anybody else need to move, or are we good to go? Yes, I'm going to have to recheck a few of them. Oh, we should probably rebuild these, or upgrade these, though. And then the... Well, we won't know until we know exactly what you're building. Actually, you will, as I said, build... Oh, wow, actually, you're almost at tier 4. You know what? We'll wait until you can build that then. Admiral Vukathan, you've moved this turn. Admiral Moksha, you have moved this turn. And I believe that's it. We do have the spare heroes. Ooh, we can send Black Arc Reaver to one of the Barbstorm ones. Shadow Magnet is perfect for you. So you can go this way. Shadow Dart will act as a support Black Arc, so you're fine. You, I believe, have the Toxic Venom, so we're waiting for a Sisters of Slaughter-centric arc for various contact effect stacking. But otherwise, we're looking pretty good. Alright, let's check Diplomacy. Let's do building, and let's go next turn. Trade agreements, no dice as yet. Darkness Daughters still want to be friends. Frankly, I'm surprised they're still alive. They've been fighting chaos for a while. Clan Ricket. How much are you willing to pay us for this? For the military access thing? Sure, 2.7k, we'll take it. We don't actually care about being friends with them. And if they're willing to pay us more later on, we'll deal with them. And otherwise, we're good. Sigmar's Heim, do we need to peace out with you? How much money would you give us for this? They'll eventually redeclare war on us. Oh, if we want to hold Martel, we need to also hold Sigmar's Heim itself. We'll rename it Kaneheim, or maybe not Heim, but anyway. Alright, building real quick. What do we have here? Orchid Coast. Ooh, Cabreros, up to tier 5. If only we had materials at sea to lower it, but it's all good. Bay of Quietude, we have the money-making building here, which is great, but the Tower of Dark Sorcery can, I think, wait, because we have a couple of Black Arcs that we'll need to upgrade shortly. Castle Gonset. We'll upgrade you. Yeah, I'll upgrade you first. Because Brianna is going to be more difficult to take regardless, because it's a walled settlement. And I think we are free to rush you if we want to. Make the place safer by popping in the second pile of defenders. There we go. Now we have Cold One, Dread Knights, Blackguard of Nagaron, and Executioners in this particular territory. And what else can we pop in here? I'm going to say Shrine of Cain. Really? And the Shrine of Cain gives us only one Witch Elf as a garrison? What does this give us? Bleak Swords, Dark Shards, and Reaper Bolt Throwers. Do we have artillery in this? We don't. Alrighty, so I think this is probably a good place to build Halls of Ravaging then. I really felt like the Shrine of Cain would be appropriate because, you know, who else would you garrison in a place that's constantly fighting? But oh well. And wait, this gives us... Oh, this gives us Sons of Murder capacity, which we have kind of started to run out of. But the place needs to be able to defend itself. You know, we'll go conscription halls here. We'll still build the Cainite stuff here in the main territory. I mean, that hasn't changed. Anyway, Estelian Highlands, Lequeno. Oh, right, I was going to trade you. I forgot about you. Lequeno. You got cash for us? Not yet. Alright, well, hopefully they'll eventually have cash for us. Or Snitch, go over here and then grab these, and then we'll pay you cash, or then give us cash for that. Somebody, please. Anyway, it's another skip, and it's another intern. Alright, Camerang, looks like they will sally out again. Your second attempt at going after Castle Aquitaine. Make sure that this one counts. Go.
No match.
Alrighty, here we go. Oh, and the Scourge Runner Chariot are looking pretty good. Once again, I really like the color scheme for these guys. But anyway, last time Camerang in his particular army fought against the 2.5 or 3 Bretonnian armies, and they deployed right here, generally speaking. It worked pretty well, but we deployed there last time with the idea that we were going to withdraw our artillery pieces and run if we need to. Here, this is 2 armies, and still very iffy for our army because it's a ranged army and they're generally not great for this sort of thing. But I think we can handle 2 armies, and thus we are not deployed to retreat. Where we are deployed, however, is close enough to the, not so much the edge of the map here, but rather the sort of open terrain we have here. This is the most open part of the map, and the reason we want that is so that the enemy can't dodge our arrows, or bolts rather, whether they be from our infantry or whether they be from our Reaper bolt throwers. Speaking of all those guys, we're going to net down the enemy lord who foolishly gave chase to Camerang on his Scourge Runner and try to knock him out of the sky before he can achieve anything. That said, we have used our vile net upon him, and thus we cannot use it on this unit of Knights Errant, and thus have to countercharge them with our Black Arc Reaver. It works reasonably well, however, as the enemy gets stopped in their tracks by the combination. Funnily enough, now that I think about it, I think maybe in this particular ranged army, a couple of units with shades with great weapons, the ones that have stagger shot might have actually been the better choice than the dark shards, because they would have slowed the enemy down on their approach. But nonetheless, if we need to, I might swap them out, but I might also not bother. There we go. Knights Errant gonna charge on in, but unlike Knights of the Realm, these guys are gonna be pretty fragile. And again, we have a lot of anti-large and armor-piercing bows available to us, and that unit is destroyed. Cammering, unfortunately, does get stuck trying to protect the left flank as 2 more enemy units. Knights Errant, oh, 4 more enemy units, lord. That's a lot of knights, but it is fighting Bretonnia. Alright, before the Bretonians are destroyed, we really gotta send some of the, send some Cold One Dread Knights to show them what a proper knight is, and knock them out. But anyway, looks like the enemy did charge in. At the very least, the Knights Errant and the Mounted Yeomen are running away in fear, and the Knights Errant got obliterated. And there are still a couple of these guys remaining, and we're just going to have to deal with them as fast as we can, mind you, because there are 5 more knightly units, or at least cav units, I don't know how many of them are yeomen, are heading in on our right flank. Our right flank, however, is where we deployed with a impassable terrain little bit here, which is a house or something, and that should help protect the flank at least a little bit. We're going to reposition ourselves slightly so that the Dark Riders can fire upon the Knights, while the Medusae are going to move into melee. I have been finding that in this particular army when outnumbered especially. Actually, this army has only ever fought outnumbered, so what can you do? When fighting like that, the Medusae are pretty much always forced into melee combat, which means we're not getting a lot of value out of their range attacks, which is unfortunate because we have the reduction on their reload. And it might mean some small adjustments again to the army are warranted. Anyway, the second set of knights have arrived on our right flank. Obviously took a little bit longer since we deployed over on the left side of the map and then the right, so they had to go all the way around. My point is that the time that they took to get to us meant that we were able to deal with the ones on the left flank. And it does look like at least a few of them have made it through amongst our artillery crew, who are bravely still firing at the enemy. Medusa trying to hold them off, and of course the units of handbow corsairs have waded into melee as well. Cameron is in here somewhere, and the Medusa is fighting. I think Cameron got stuck again, unfortunately, on the knights, and that's not something you want to be, as cavalry are generally a counter to chariots. Anyway, big old burning head goes through the enemy line here, and I think racks up a massive amount of kills. Ooh, wow, Cameron nearly died. Racks up a massive amount of kills amongst the peasantry. This is what we wanted from the burning head. The peasants like to sort of line up as they fire upon your army, and thus they're very susceptible to the use of that spell. Fortunately, though, like I said, we are not withdrawing this time, and it looks like the enemy will shatter instead. And while our harpies have been working on any units of peasants that didn't get burninated or obliterated by the Reaper bolt throwers, they will also come in very handy during the chase. Unfortunately, I'd wager most of the enemy knights will escape, as we have no real easy way of hunting them down. Neither the Dark Riders, because they can't fire while moving, nor the harpies, because they're not fast enough, or damaging enough, I guess, to deal with them. Will be good for the chase. We should be able to take out most of the peasants, which, you know, feels appropriate. Maximum casualties amongst the peasants while the knights escape. 'Tis the peasants' duty to, fall upon the blades of the enemy so that their lords and masters can get the heck out of there. Ooh, alrighty, another close victory, but with us coming out ahead this time. Unfortunately, Cameron got trapped on some knights and got pretty badly beat up. Unfortunately, if we keep him on the Scourge Runner, I think he's going to get himself killed. It's rather fragile, but more importantly, there's no unit here that in this particular army that we can use as support for him, essentially, if he gets trapped to take hits like we would if we had melee Dark Riders, or if we had Cold One Knights or anything like that. Sort of how we built Cold One Knights to protect the Cold One Chariots in the other army. I think that means we're probably better off switching him out to a Manticore, as a single entity would be pretty valuable here. And we're getting some value out of the dark shooters here, but or dark shooters. The dark shards. I combined dark shards and fear shooters in my head, but we might want to just grab a couple more corsairs in this army instead. I will think about it. We already have a very, very big melee line, a lot of fragile units, like half of the army is made up of Dark Riders, Crows of Cain, and Reaper Bolt Throwers, which means none of those units can fight in melee, which means whenever we come up against more than one stack at once, they'll get overrun. One stack they can handle just fine, but yeah, anyway. We're gonna enslave since we've been using a lot of rush construction. Also, wait, who did the best? Probably these guys. Fellheart Steersman. He picked well because at 200 kills and 22,000 damage. Very nice. And, ooh, wow, look at that. One of the Harpies outdid the Crows of Cain by a decent bit and got 354 kills. I'm gonna have to name you. All right. Alright, ally begins outpost construction in Harganeth, sacrifice to Mathland performed in Harganeth as well, ambush foiled, well that one we were fully expecting. Really? They're not, you're moving to Laguier, which we, oh I was about to say which we wanted, but do we actually? I mean, Bruce is a capital, but this goes rather far. You were told to take Carcassonne, we sacked it, there was nobody there and you still failed to do so. Okay. Lokhir. This place is still breached, right? Sirure, you're gonna go here. We're gonna have you... Oh! What? It's not breached. Oh, well then screw you too, game. Okay, wait. I have an idea. Continue siege for now. Lokhir. Ghost of Glamboreal destroyed by who? Oh, it looks like the Wood Elves. Interesting. Well, anyway, ally mission aborted, ally mission successful, enemy killed in battle, cold one for Aurora, whoever that is. Loyal again for Larian, the new one, and there we go, recruit rank +5 for Blackrock, but that's not what I want to do. Lokhir, I'd like you to go to this side of Carcassonne. We besieged it so that it no longer provided the zone of control. Then I'm going to pop in gloringly into Sirure's army. Then Sirure, we're going to have you break the siege. And we're going to have you pop into March stance, wherein... I mean, you won't be able to reach Dragon Falls, but that's hopefully okay. These guys are going to take this place, and there's nothing... maybe we trade... If they take this place, then maybe we trade them Castle Carcassonne for it. That's assuming that we want to bother holding this, which I'm not entirely sure that we do, but at least it would give us the option. Since they seem to be refusing to take it, despite the fact that we literally told them to. No, it is what it is. Anyway, you look here. Wait, Sirure. Get closer, there you go. And then you will sack this now, like so. 44 losses, okay, well, whatever. Sack it. Like so. Sirure, then I guess we're gonna have you occupied. I don't think anybody's near enough to occupy themselves. Oh, we might not even be able to trade this to you. Well, whatever. Push comes to shove, we can always abandon it or ignore it. Occupied for now, we're not going to invest in it at all, however. Oh, we will build a military structure because otherwise we'd have to pay those guys to take it anyway. And then Tech Thief, oh, I should move the Tech Thieves first. Alright, Tech Thief 1. Who got a Dark Steed, we're not paying for that, and go for the Block Army. Hey, more Steel Techery, isn't that lovely? Let's see, where do we have more? How many more turns do we have of success? 6 more turns, okay, so we gotta make the most of this while we can. You can Steel Tech from Barfleur, and you've leveled up as well, good job. Gotta love the fact that they can succeed. Hopefully they'll get high enough levels so that they won't die once they no longer have the sacrifice up and running. You can steal from Moret, or Moret, whatever it is. Bring it down. And you've also leveled. I mean, the sorceresses also are getting the increased levels from the sacrifice, so that's why they're leveling every turn. Which is also lovely. Alright, and we're about to... Okay, wait, there's a lot of things we gotta do this turn. One thing at a time. You, Steel Tech. Oh, you have a Dark Steed. Not for long. No Dark Steed for you. That's an extra, what, 50 gold per turn or whatever it is? Every little bit counts, especially since our gold is dropping once again, and we're about to get more Black Arcs up and running. Gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, what I want to do with you guys... First of all, wait, you. I've leveled up to 10, therefore, Revered Name of Power. See what you got. We got Beastbinder again, and we got Fang Shield. Ooh, I was hoping to get one of you. Huh. To make use of Bleak Swords, Dread Spears, and Dark Shards, these sort of more basic stuff, together, of course, with the with Black Arc Corsairs. The only thing is the Ice Blades, rather, are going to go with that Sorceress. And Beastbinder is also lovely for everybody, but anyway. Yeah, we're gonna go with Fang Shield. Slaughter the Beast. And beautiful. Alright, so that's one we were wanting. So you, Barbstorm, are going to do stuff as well, go figure. Ooh, also, wait. Okay, wait, there's so many things I gotta figure out and check in one turn. Ambitious for Kane, Perfectionist. Huh. Exceptional Offensive. Assassin, Master Infiltrator, and no new ones. I would like Scout to join one of these armies. I would like... Who was Parthok again? Oh, you were going to join the Barbstorm guy. Yeah, go ahead, but maybe don't screw over his ability to move. Moret's got Defenders, so we can't do too much about that. You can't head to La Guillet, can you? Not from here, not in one turn. Alright, I guess you have no choice then to sack Dragon Falls. It is worth a decent amount, so why not? And auto-resolve it. And sack it. I was hoping to stop him moving, but alas, I missed. Alright, well then you can raid it for the turn for a little bit of cash, and then either we send Sirare here or we, well, do something. But Lokhir is moving next turn. Alrighty, that's Lokhir. But that's not who we were looking to move. So, now that we have Black Arc recruitment ranks, or levels, high up, we can put you into Pedro de Sur and get a Fleet Master immediately at rank 10. Revered Name of Power, let's see what we got. Another Fang Shield and Beastbinder. Okay, so it looks like it's always Beastbinder and Fang Shield together. Since we did Fang Shield last, let's do Beastbinder for you, sir. And then we will immediately get you these things. Ship Navigator, yada yada yada, and I still haven't decided about those. And then we'll get another one. Oh, it'll have to be next turn. Well, I guess we could get one here. We do have some ability to recruit some stuff, although... Actually, not really. We can always sail you over, though. And that's still the case. Yeah, fine, we'll sail you over then. Another Fleet Master. And you are expensive, but you're worth it. Revered Name of Power, let's see what we got this time. We got Beastbinder and Fang Shield. Really? 3 times in a row? Oh, don't be bugged. I'm really hoping it's a coincidence that we got it 3 times in a row. Again, Beastbinder is fine for everybody because it's just a reduction on sea creatures, so we can combine that with whatever we damn well please. I don't think we need another Fang Shield right now, because it's not very interesting. I'm gonna go with Beastbinder. Doubling up. Alright, and then if we have money left over, we'll get the third one up and running. Next, we've got techs. Ooh, these are one-turn techs. Oh, it's because of the research point surplus. Not as important. I'm going to say reload time reduction for Shades and Dark Riders, unless there's something really important here. Reload time on laying siege. So this counts when... actually, I don't know. I wonder if that counts when you're blockading. Ooh, no. Pay regional shamans. Armies replenish in foreign territories. This is absolutely, positively, ultra necessary. Alright, and hopefully that'll work to make our Black Arcs a little bit less likely to suffer attrition and make it a little bit easier for them to do their thing. Anyway, I'll resolve this. Hammering is going to take damage again, but whatever. And we'll... So I guess it's kind of not worth it. 3.5k is something. It will heal, but will it heal Cammering is the question. Then again, just do it. It will not heal Cammering. Okay, so now I know for the future. Oh well, disappointing, but it is what it is. We'll just have to live with 1 HP. Alright, so we'll occupy the place now. And Aquitaine, I believe we're keeping, because we do have... Torbadoos, I guess, which we want to keep. It's part of the big old coastline. Alright, repair this, delete this, and then go for fights to the... No, go for Slave Drive immediately for the growth increase. Torbadoos will immediately upgrade you as well. And we could Russia. Yeah, it's Russia to immediately start construction of the walls here. Alright, earthing rod is fine. Cammering, like I said, the Scourge Runner isn't working for me in this particular army, so we'll switch you to the Manticore. And thus you have poison already and will no longer need the Asp Bow. Hopefully nobody comes out of somewhere and besieges you because you'll die to attrition, but if you do, you do. That's just the name of the game sometimes. What do we have in terms of... Okay, you guys can benefit from Ravager rewards. Yes. Range, and let's get Kindle of Fury, and then we'll get the other stuff after. You guys got 3 levels. Ooh, Arcane Conduit. Yes, please. And I'm gonna say go with Earthing because you do miscast a bit. You... Tough as nails, increase mobility, and we'll go for Steamed Combatant when we're ready. Alright. That looks good. Now, let's get everybody else moving. So, Surare is fine. Alarian, I don't remember who you are. Oh, right. Somebody to take Barfleur. So, we still have to keep recruiting here. And we should take advantage of the lowered recruitment costs, but we'll get back to you in a bit. Let's see everybody else. So, Conwovale, there's an island right in your face here, and then a Castle Longhi right below. And we'll go for Mushroom Stew. Come on, Curse Cannibalism again. Beautiful. Alright, and then... Huh. Wait, really? That took all your movement? You went from, like, here to here. What the heck? That's weird, but whatever. And you need to construct, well, something, but not one that we actually need right now. So go here. And we'll go for Longhi next turn.
I have seen your heart.
Wasn't there another island, or was that with another guy? Oh, no, we picked it up last turn. Right. I have the memory of a goldfish. Alright, Admiral Balthanal, you're sitting there. Admiral Keleth, you are traveling still, so go visit SF's key again. A little stop as we... Whoa. Hello, what do we have here? Rudiger Gutbub, you wanna play, perhaps? We'll see if he decides to attack us. I keep trying to put them into ambush stance. This isn't a port, is it? No. If it was, we would have sacked it. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that they were sailing all the way towards us. We did just declare war on several factions from these guys, and thus their enemies might actually start sailing down here. So we will need to send Balthanal there rather quickly. And we do want to be around Albion at some point anyway, so all that does is essentially make it go a little bit quicker. As in the time we take to get over there. Castle Bordelot, definitely something we've sacked before, but certainly something we want to occupy. Auto resolve. It's gonna hurt the chariots, isn't it? Especially you, but whatever. And then the sack value is actually still pretty decent. We take it at tier 1 anyway, so there's no need not to. Sack it, and then occupy Bordelot. Occupy Bordelot, there we go. Alright, Cauldron of Blood and Cold One, and Lucky Arrow. Sure, we will repair this, we will repair this, we will uncollect the income, and we will go for growth immediately, because we want to get all of these vineyards and Manan's dry docks as well. Mathland's dry docks, I think you mean. And I don't know what disturbing thing the Dark Elves would do with their wine, drink it out of the skull of their enemies or whatever, but they'll probably enjoy the wine nonetheless. Though elves have to have enchanted wine because they can't get drunk normally. But anyway, what do we have here? Keleth. I clicked you, Moksha. Yeah, again, please tell me who can move and who can't. Okay, so you haven't moved, right? Yes, because your heroes still had movement space. You're, I guess, going to Silent Isle or moving past it. Doesn't really matter ultimately. Though you are waiting for a sorceress, which we still don't have capacity for. And that's why we keep picking up additional territories. Without additional sorceress capacity, a lot of our armies won't have that ability. I guess you will want to build a sorcerer's cabin for yourself as well. Oh, you know what? Maybe we actually wait until you reach tier 4, because then we can upgrade these, and then you'll have stronger Black Ark support for yourself. And that's pretty important. Anyway, that was Dekunkar, Rinmo, and okay, so all of you guys... You're kind of stuck where you are until you can take Maret. We do have Fang Shield and... both of you could, in theory, start recruiting some stuff. Alright, so you. Can you go into March stance? Yes. I would like Mr. Barbstorm. That was a Barbstorm? What was I going to do with you again? Well, obviously the Black Ark Corsairs with hand bows so that they actually benefit. Alright, so you're going to go back here. Like so. We're gonna pop into your army the Black Arc Reaver.
I approve of these.
Neither of you need to build anything. You can upgrade these, though. Since they'll be recruiting still, we still want the bonus recruitment levels. And then you can pop in and trade him some stuff. Support Black Arc, though you may be. And next turn we can take this territory, I assume. Reaper Bolt Throwers and these, and I guess Barb Storm will benefit Dark Shards. There we go. And we can make this the Dark Shard army. I don't want it to be too similar to the other army though, but Barb Storm will still work with the where do we have it? Did I not start building the I thought I did. Odd. We need the Harpy building because it will... Oh, right, I wanted to wait until we max out the Black Arc. My bad, ignore me. Ignore me, I'm just an idiot. Is that it? It looks like that's it. Yes, I think it is. Alright, so these two new admirals, assuming that we have some points left over. Okay, you sit here. Okay, there you go. And then you sit here. Dread expansion. Then we obviously need you to do this. Same thing as everybody, and then you the same thing, I take it? Yes, okay, you've done that. Alright, we do have a little bit of cash, so let's get one more of these guys. You're gonna be quite far, right? Part of this territory, that's gonna be kind of far as well. Well, it's gonna take time for you to recruit anyway. Oh, actually, Miros has some decent stuff, so you could potentially construct some stuff. Fleet Master. Out of the Black Arc, into Miros, please, and another gambling time. Revered Name of Power, come on, Life Quencher. Grey Vanquisher and Krakenlord. Oh, that's not one we've had before. All Corsair type. Yeah, I do like the Grey Vanquisher though. Armor and melee attack for shield for Dark Riders and Shades. We're gonna get some good use out of the one that we got there. I kind of want to have him fight to Nagaryth, fight to Lethanar. Kind of show him how it's done. But anyway, storm the beach with Krakenlord. Alright, and we know what you're doing then. Good. Ship's Navigator, Unassailable, Unstoppable, Unknowable, Unshakable, Inspiring Presence, then through Line Breaker to buff the Corsairs. We'll get your Route Marcher so you can move quick. And I guess all three of these guys are going to go this way. Maybe two of them this way, and then one of them down this way as well. And as soon as we have some spares, so there's a lot of coastline here as well. Alright. Anyway, exciting times. And just got to get a few more of the... trait types that we're missing, and once we're done with the interesting trait types on the Black Arcs, we'll start building armies, like land armies. It's just that they're more expensive than Black Arc armies, which is why I'm focusing those, plus obviously it's Lokhir. Anyway, that was a lot of yammering. We need the recruitment, so let's do that. Elarian. Let's get you... Again, you're just a supporting army, so let's get you... 2 more Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. It's not like they're expensive. Let's get you... I guess a couple of Dark Shards with shields, and then 2 Black Arc Corsairs with handbows, and you know what? Let's just go... Again, if this army will primarily auto-resolve, it's an army that will want to take advantage of how much damage we can do auto-resolving, and thus have a proper melee line. I'm almost tempted to get more of the Dread Spears. It'll be fine. Alrighty. I don't want to overthink for a auto-resolver army. Now, you. What level can you recruit Black Arc Corsairs at? Yeah, still pretty good, so you should start. It's gonna take a bit. You've landed, so you should... Oh! Huh, I assumed that having landed we'd be able to recruit from the actual territory, but I guess we'll need to get a lord. I guess next turn then. Dang. Alright, well I guess we'll have to wait to recruit... Huh. Spell resistance for all units is kind of interesting. Just want to take a look at these guys real quick. I think we've seen all the sorceress ones. Alright, so we'll start recruiting next turn. I mean, I guess you guys will still need some Black Arc Corsairs, so you probably should at least start recruiting those. They recruiting from each other. That's kind of cute. Anyway, helping each other out. Alright, so new territories. We need to defend them, and thus we need to buff them so that they have defenses up and running ASAP. Rush this, build defenses. Stallion Highlands. Okay, no, we'll wait with you. You're fine, or at the very least we'll build you up now. You, River Brienne, yes to the upgrade here. And Saint Jacques is, well, not so exposed that I think it'll immediately get attacked. Lequeno is fine. Bay of Quietude, we've got the Shrine of Cain, yes to be upgraded. We could rush the port here. Will that do anything for us, really? More slaves per turn, I guess. We are rushing a lot of stuff, why not? Alright, and I believe that's all we gotta do this turn. I guess, yeah, we'll just end it. I was gonna say, let's do Diplo, but I think we're fine. Go. Galeth Beastbinder, you are... Oh, they will attack you at sea. Huh, alright, well I guess this is a Helldrake-centric episode since we had them once and we're gonna have them again. Go.
Show no mercy.
Alrighty, as if you had to say it, we were never going to show mercy in the first place. Here we go, another round for Mr. Galeth, one of our favorites, as he found that early materials at sea and lost cargo for us, and he has our first little unit of adorable little Helldrakes, and you get pets. Anyway, we are going to start the battle off by annoying the enemy with our Reaper Bolt Throwers. Again, every time I see these guys, makes me want to get that artillery-focused army. I do wonder if there is a trait that increases the capabilities of the Reaper Bolt Throwers more than Barbstorm does. Barbstorm is generalist, but it isn't, you know, anything crazy in terms of their buffs. Like the amount of ridiculous buffs that specific buffs, like the Krakenlord buff for the word buff has lost all meaning. Like Krakenlord for the Black Ark Corsairs plus 100% damage effectively, or the Shade buff which gives them 50% range and other ridiculousness, just overshadows something like Barbstorm considerably. So I do wonder if there's something specifically for Reaper Bolt Throwers to max them out. I'm tempted to just go to the... well, there should be a list somewhere of all the potential traits. Oh, but we'd have to see the SFO traits. Or we could just keep gambling until we see them all. Anyway, the Reaper Bolt Throwers continue firing away, but the enemy has obviously attempted to move around our flanks with its Wardens of the West mounted yeomen. Unfortunately, those Bretonnians are not going to be any more effective under the Imperials than they are under the Bretonnians themselves, and the Helldrakes will tear them to shreds. One of the Wardens of the West will attempt to escape as the rest of the melee enemy army attempts to close the distance. The Grand Cauldron Regulars are definitely to be feared, very strong unit for obvious reasons. I mean, it's basically just a man-eater unit, but definitely enjoyed using these guys in my own Empire campaign. Especially now that their stats are where they should be. Otherwise, Black Ark support is coming down, no artillery to use it upon, so the peasants are having, or peasants, well, there are a bunch of Bretonnians here as well, so yes, peasants, Imperial and Bretonnian alike, are having a particularly bad time. Reaper Bolt Throwers, of course, still coming down, and the Reaper Bolt Throwers are pretty good at angling their shots so that most of them hit despite all of these hills here, as that would have given trouble to a bunch of other artillery pieces. Otherwise, bounce power has shifted in our favor to about 90%. Oh, that's actually a fairly light battle. Everything's nice and visible for a Black Ark battle. Kind of surprising, but definitely in a good way. Grand Cauldron Regulars still running around with about half of their HP, but everybody else is in pretty bad shape. I believe the hero that went forward with the Arch-Elector and got killed off by the Black Ark Reaver, who has a great sword now. And, ooh, I like the golden color of the great sword as well. Looks pretty great, but anyway, as the Black Ark Reaver leads the melee contingent of the army. And I believe our Lord also fought one of these heroes in melee. There we go, there was that warrior priest who decided to close the distance with Admiral Galeth because he assumed that Galeth wouldn't be able to hold him off in melee because he's a crossbow unit. But that was obviously not the case. Anyway, with that, as the Arch-Elector shatters as the warrior priest runs as well, the battle is done. Maybe we can take a couple of shots at the runner here. And maybe one more. And there we go. Beautiful. Actually, it looked like he... Oh, wow, this guy's spine is broken. It looked like the bolts hit the horse there, so the horse toppled. But anyway, I don't think a human is going to be escaping Dark Elf on foot, even if his spine hadn't been broken from the fall. Lovely. Another great battle for Mr. Caliph and the Helldrakes as well. And we should probably get a couple of sea dragons in this army just so that they can sort of be together. Anyway. Alright, there we are. Very nice. The Helldrake pack's doing great work once again, and looks like 2 or 3 of them racking up far more kills than anything else, and damage as well, except the Reaper Bolt Auras, which admittedly had a pretty good position in this particular fight, so it worked out well for, well, not for the enemy, but for everyone else. For everyone that matters. Otherwise, yeah, props to the AI for actually attacking us instead of being a coward about it, so do appreciate that. We can't heal our Lord and heroes, so I think we'll take the money this time. We are about to recruit, what, 3 to 5 more worth, 3 to 5 Black Arcs more worth of units, so and gotta do what you gotta do.
Let them live.
Alright, enemy killed in battle, lots of them basically. Faction destroyed Qatar, combat focus, ooh, more recruitment reduction for... Okay, well, we have 1 more turn of Raise the Banners. This will complete itself as soon as we get the recruitment, and then for 1 turn we'll have extremely cheap recruitment that we'll definitely want to make good use of. And a sacrifice to the Threma is coming in again soon, so that'll be more money from sacking and raising. But anyway, looks like, and I take it they did take La Guille by virtue of the fact that, I think there was a way to check it, but, and there's a Skaven Plague there too. Of course there was. Ah, you're starting to annoy me, Hickett. I might get too annoyed and wipe you out, even if you hold territory that we don't really care about, like those swamps and other garbage. But anyway, I think that then, there, or here, whatever, is probably a good place to call this episode. The admin in the form of moving the heroes and checking new heroes, etc., etc., I think I will leave for myself between the episodes. Next time, we will continue recruiting new units for our Black Arcs. I noticed that our predicted income is rapidly dwindling and will be negative soon, but hopefully all the sacking and raising will simply outweigh it. Still keeping an eye on Harganeth, which have taken a territory, darn, so they're not confederating as yet, but anyway, maybe they will, or decent likelihood that they will lose it and then simply confederate after that. We shall see, though I'm hoping that these guys aren't just sailing down towards us. We can send one of these guys towards them to deal with them. Anyway, we'll figure all that out next time, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.